Hi, I'm Sara G. Allison, your hair health expert and trichologist for nearly 30 years. Well, I'm the founder and product creator at Hair Today or Tomorrow. So over these past 30 years, I have seen the whole literally thousands of clients and helped them with a hair loss issue. The most common issue that people have would be hair thinning. Now, sometimes people actually don't think that that's hair loss, but it really is a form of hair loss. If it's like gradually, it can be just gradually over the years, it's getting thinner and thinner, or it can be that you're seeing some rapid hair shedding coming out right now. So whichever the way that is, it's still a hair loss issue. So I just wanted to talk to you about some of the things for strategies for helping to reverse your hair thinning. And the first one that I would mention is that hair is actually a reflection of your health, your overall health and well-being. So it's really important just to identify and treat any health issues. So you might not actually think that you've got a health issue, but if you've got a hair loss problem, then there's something that's causing it. So that's why it's really important to actually treat what it is that's causing the hair loss, rather than just going for some kind of topical type approach. It's treating the actual underlying problem, what's causing it in the first instance. And that's where I like to come in, because I like to really delve into people's health and wellness and find out what is actually at the root cause of why you're losing your hair. So it's obviously very difficult to explain everything in a video chat, but I shall do my best to give you a bit of an overview. Because as I said, that hair is really a great marker for your overall health and well-being. So it's the first sign you're going to see any health issues can be when it's actually displaying in your hair and your follicles. So it could just be a change in its gloss, its shine, its thickness, or its bounce. But quite commonly, it is actually noticing that you've got some loss as well. So if you're concerned about a condition or density of your hair has changed, and you really should be going to see a qualified and reputable trichologist, make sure that they are that they do have some very good credentials, because not all trichologists are equal, and you can unfortunately get people just saying that they're trichologists or claiming that they're hair loss experts and not really having any background on that at all, apart from just some very minor interest in commercial aspects of it. So really important to find a trichologist going to do some blood tests and that is competent at analysing your blood tests. You can obviously go to see your GP first of all, but GPs often are not checking for the right things, or even if they do check for the right things, then they are not interpreting the results properly. Now, the reason for that is that unfortunately, doctors are looking at things from a very different perspective. So they are looking to see if you've got an actual clinical illness. And with your hair, you might not actually have anything seriously wrong with you, but you're just not in an optimal state. So as long as your blood results are falling within the generalized range that 90% of people are going to be falling in that range, then the doctors are not going to be picking up that there's something that's not 100%. You're not running on optimal. And for your hair, you need to be in optimal health. So there can be some discrepancies there with how they're reading the results and what I'm seeing as a trichologist and what I'm expecting to deal with. So that would be the first thing that you really need to do. So, following on from if you might have any underlying medical or health condition that might be causing your hair thinning, then it's also worth noting that the doctors may put you on some medication, or they may have already put you on some medications. And often medications can have side effects of hair loss or alopecia, and they don't necessarily tell you about that. The doctors won't tell you. You would have to read the small print in your leaflet that comes with your medication to see if that is a potential problem. And quite often it will be very low down in their list because they wouldn't be thinking that hair loss is a major side effect to be worried about. Of course, it is very worrying for us when we have got hair loss, but for the pharmaceutical companies, then no, they don't think that's any biggie. So it's kind of quite low down on the list, and then the doctors wouldn't necessarily be very aware of it when they're prescribing it to you. So it's worth noting the timing. So the timing is very important. This is what I go through when I see my clients for consultations: is what drugs are they taking, and when did they start, and when did the hair loss start? Now, there's often a delayed response with your hair and what's been going on in your life. So if you're starting a medication or increasing the dose, then you may not get, or quite commonly, you won't get any problems with your hair for another 3 to 4 months. So that's worth bearing in mind, because quite often if you are getting side effects of hair loss or hair thinning right at the start of taking the medication, and you'll say, oh yes, okay, that's the medication that's causing it. But because there's this delayed response, then you wouldn't necessarily correlate it until you start looking at the timings. And of course, if you are taking medication that you really need, then that's quite a tricky one, but it's worth mentioning it to the doctors. And sometimes you might be able to change to a different one, and you might not have the same response, but quite often it's better to wean off medications if that's entirely possible. And depending on your situation, that can be possible with better nutrition. It depends obviously what's going on, what the reason is for the medication, and if you really have to stay on it, then there are other things that you can do to maximize your hair regrowth when you are still getting the shedding from that. So things that I would do to maximize your regrowth would be to optimize your nutrition. And with my supplements, I have my M&Os are my multivitamin and mineral supplement. They have really, really good responses to regrowing your hair, so they can really help to counteract the effects of any medications. So I've just touched on some of the health aspects, why you may be losing your hair, and it's a very, very complex subject. There could be numerous reasons, and quite often it's multifactorial too. So I shall be going into some of the other reasons in future videos, so please stay tuned for those, and thank you for listening. Bye for now.